future. In the future. And that's the past, and this is the present. Yeah, that's how you teach English. Past, present, future. Lesson over. Week 2's begun now. I'm teaching tomorrow on Tuesday. So I've got a lesson on Alexis, which is going to be really exciting. It's all about dinner parties. So we're going to be starting off with come dine with me and get the students to talk about what they know about the show. And then they're going to have a little storyboard that I made and they get to fill that in with the vocab. I think it's going to be a really nice lesson. It's a very communicative lesson. Obviously, we're not focusing on communicative function. We're focusing on the lexis, so it's actually about them using the lexis. And it could have been done in a writing style, but I decided I wanted to do it spoken. How is Krakow at the moment? It's still boiling. It's still really, really hot. Apparently it's not changing for 2 weeks. I don't think my shorts are going to get washed. I've only got one pair of shorts. I might just have to wash them one evening and hope that they dry by the morning. Otherwise go in jeans and be really, really sweaty. I'll do it on a day I'm not teaching. We're getting more information about the second assignment, which is about the needs of the learner. So it is, as I thought it is. Describe the learner, describe the errors that they make, and then how those errors could be rectified. So what sort of activities could be done to help rectify those errors. We're doing interviews on Wednesday, some people are doing them on Thursday. It's basically dependent on whether or not you've got a lesson that day. If you've not got a lesson, you do the interview. Which is nice for me, it means I get an extra day to do it. We're planning on maybe on Friday, if we can get the whole assignment done during the day, do the assignment, and then maybe, fingers crossed, we'll have a few drinks. But we'll see that, whether we did that or not, in the future. Tuesday's been a really nice day. I liked Tuesday. I did TP number 3 and I felt like it went really, really well. TP 2, I was like, oh God. Obviously not in front of the students, it was more internal. Whereas TP 3, there was this moment about halfway through when they were getting on with one of the activities. I was just checking my plan, just like, alright, yeah. I was like, this is going well. They are doing what they are meant to be doing, and I haven't messed it up yet. And I managed to not mess it up for the rest of the lesson, so it was really, really good. The thing is, right, it's actually Wednesday right now, and I'm recording Tuesdays on Wednesday in the evening. So I'll just go on to Wednesday now, yeah. Wednesday's been really, really fun, because we got the opportunity to go see different teachers in different classes at different levels. So I went to see a couple of people, Veronica and Diogo, who was in the previous video, and Veronica, who may appear in a future video, we'll see. I got to see their classes, and it was really, really interesting to see how other people teach, because I think obviously when you're in your group, you sort of like, you take ideas from each other and you sort of integrate the best things of everybody else into your own teaching. And so it's when you see other groups, there are these habits that have developed. In our class, we always clap at the end. It actually, when you think about it, is quite weird that we clap at the end. So for us, myself and Aneta, who also watched the class, when we were watching it, we turned to each other and we were like, why is there no applause? It was also really nice to see the level of the upper intermediate students. So for the 2 weeks I've been teaching so far, I've been working with the pre-intermediate group, and now in the next 2 weeks I'll be working with the upper intermediate group. I've got one more TP on Thursday, and after that I'm going with the upper intermediate. And it was quite interesting to see their level, what they were really, really good at, what sort of difference there was between them and the lower intermediate group. And there were some big differences there, and there were some things where I thought, it's not so different. It's going to be very different, obviously, teaching them as opposed to just observing them. I'm really looking forward to that. But at the moment, I've got TP4 tomorrow. I'm working on grammar, which is going to be. But we'll have a review of that time. Anyway. Until tomorrow. It's the weekend! Yay! We had to do our assignments. They're due in on Monday. It's Saturday now. We had an input session on Friday morning, 10 till 1.
And then we had the rest of the afternoon off, so we all went out, had a bit of food, and then we stayed and actually did as much of the assignment as possible. This one was focused on the learner, so we already interviewed someone and we were writing about their errors and how those errors can be rectified. For this assignment, I think it was more identifying the errors that was the harder part, because once they're identified, it's sort of like, well, this is it, this is an activity you can do. That's also quite time consuming, or it was for me, quite time consuming to find an appropriate activity for the student and identifying the errors. But other than that, it's basically saying they like doing this sort of activity, so I'm doing this activity, and that's pretty much it. We also got the first assignment results back. I passed it, which was nice. There were a few people who didn't, but it was quite nice. They sort of highlighted every single place where they need to improve, and they told them specifically what they need to do. Got to do a lesson plan as well. Got to do a lesson plan for the upper intermediate class. So my first one is on listening and speaking. The class will be all about school and education, so it's quite a nice topic to start speaking to them with. Really get to know the students about their opinions on school and their opinions on education and all that. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not in 100% functioning today. We went out last night, had a few drinks. I mean, week 2 was over and we'd done the essay, or I'd done the essay, because I'm a SWAT, apparently. My general conclusion for this week, or the first 2 weeks of CELTA, is that it's not as soul-destroying as it's made out to be. It is a lot of work, and it does take time, and it does take thought process, and it takes effort, but it's not every single waking hour. It is possible to actually be relatively normal. I think it's just the same as doing a job, but doing it perfectly for 1 month. I also had a little interview, had a little chat with Dagmara, who was in the previous video. You can see Dagmara in the video here. I'm going to do a link. So now it will go to Dagmara, and you can listen to her and how she feels the CELTA's gone. I should warn you that I put the flash on my phone, possibly stupidly, and her eyes are just red. She's not the devil. It's just the camera and the lighting. Dagmara, tell us about your first 2 weeks of CELTA.
It was boring. Everybody's so boring, and we have so much time for ourselves. We mostly drink and do sightseeing. Our tutors are terrible. They say only bad things, and I hate it. Those are all the things that I would never say about CELTA. I love it. It's very great.
So that's pretty much it for the second week. Going to do some lesson planning on Sunday and just relax, enjoy the weekend. See you next week for the next video. Bye.